Hey there, Simon here from AQ Outdoors, just checking in with a quick review on the Galasport Caipi series of slalom kayaks. In full transparency, I'm not a super competitive slalom paddler, haven't competed in many years, but my kids are doing a lot of it now, and so I'm sort of getting back into it, and I have a bunch of friends who have been national team members and everything. So some of these talking points are my own, but some of them come from Mike Holroyd, who's an ex-Canadian team slalom paddler who's spent a lot of time in the Caipi. He actually just got a carbo light version of it in the fins model this year, and he's been ripping it around a bunch and competing at nationals and all that kind of thing. So I'm not the expert on slalom boats by any stretch of the imagination, but this has been well researched through Mike, so thanks Mike. The Caipi is one of the most popular slalom boats, at least in Western Canada. It's built in the Czech Republic, and it's a really good intermediate platform for whitewater slalom. It does come in multiple sizes depending on your weight and your height. It also comes in a variety of different materials. This one is the Diolan layup, so it's pretty strong, pretty light, all the way through to their Carbo Light, which is full carbon, super light, super stiff, and there's a few other layups in between. This boat, anecdotally, I think in the basic version, is a great intermediate boat. It feels more stable than the Vida boats, which are kind of their competitors, I think. It's also a little bit wider behind the hips, which helps with the stability, but also helps with speed through dead water and kind of accelerating out of turns. It does tend to slide a little bit, so if you're more of an advanced slalom paddler, you may not like that. Whereas if you're a more intermediate paddler like me and you make more mistakes, it's actually kind of nice because you can correct those errors more easily. So on that note, the Caipi also comes in a model that has fins. So that tends to be geared a little bit more towards advanced racing paddlers because there's a little bit less room for error, but it does track and accelerate a little better. And then there's also the Evo, which is the brand new one that came out this year. I haven't seen it yet, so I really can't speak to that, but it's definitely geared towards the competitive slalom paddler. So although this review is a little anecdotal in nature, just a couple of the features that this particular boat has. This is the 85 kg model, so this is the size that you're looking at. From a safety standpoint, front and back, you have foam bulkheads to prevent the boat folding. Those foam bulkheads are also resined in with Diolan strips, so they're pretty secure in there for sure. You have the standard grab handle in the back on the top of the boat, and then the bungee one on the bottom in the front. Diolan carbon bucket seat in here. I've got one that's a little bit deeper and a little bit wider because I've got pretty wide hips. And other than that, it has everything that you would expect from a whitewater slalom kayak. So overall, I would say for the Caipi, the things I really like is it's a nice stable platform. It turns relatively easy. In the model I have here, it's relatively easy to correct mistakes, and it feels really stable. So the base model of the Caipi, for sure, some of the downsides if you're a really advanced paddler are it doesn't necessarily track out of things as well, so it's a bit slidey, a bit washy. It does have a little bit more volume in the tail than some other slalom models, so if you're doing really aggressive pivot turns and things like that, then it's maybe not going to feel quite as dynamic. But overall, looking at this under the lens of a whitewater paddler who's trying to use this as a way to stay in shape, be a little bit competitive, but also just improve my technical paddling, this feels like a really nice option that isn't going to break the bank. So that's it. That's a really basic rundown of the Galasport Caipi whitewater slalom kayak. If you have any questions, comments, or if you've had experience with it, we would love to hear more in the comments section below. If you found the video valuable, we'd be stoked if you subscribed, and if you want to find out more about us, you can visit us at aqoutdoors.com.